So, hi everyone. We are discussing about the agency in the last class, and before the starting of the agency, we have also discussed about the Bailor and Bailey, and we have also discussed the concept of the third party, like as the indemnity and the guarantee, and how the contract of the indemnity works. That also we have discussed. Okay, so coming to the part of the coming to the part of chapter X that explains about the agency. Section 182 defines the agent and the principal. Okay. So the question arises, who is the agent and who is the principal? An agent is a person employed to do any act for another or to represent another in dealings with the third person. The person for whom such act is done or who is represented is called the principal. That means in a contract, okay, are for example, I am the principal. That means I have the ownership upon the specific act or specific thing, okay? And if I am appointing you as my agent, then what happens? In that specific circumstances, you are assigned or you are allowed to act on behalf of me. That means अगर मैं आपको अपने एजेंट के हिसाब से हायर करती हूँ तो यहाँ पे आई विल बी द प्रिंसिपल इटसेल्फ मैं मेरे को यहाँ पे क्या बोला जाएगा प्रिंसिपल बोला जाएगा व्हाट इज योर पोजीशन इज द एजेंट तो आप यहाँ पे क्या करोगे ऑन माई बिहाफ यू विल एक्ट as my agent. Okay, so that is the concept of the agent and the principal. So section 183 it defined who may employ the agent. This exactly implied that what is the capability of the principal to appoint an agent. So, in what circumstances, in what situations, a principal can appoint an agent? Who may employ an agent? Section 183 specifies any person who is of the age of majority according to the law to which he is the subject or who is of sound mind may employ an agent. Okay, the first thing we have understood the person who has attained the age of the majority. That means the person who is appointed as the agent, he must be a major. He must not be a minor to be an agent. The first point. And the second point is of the sound mind. That means the person who is appointed as the agent must have a sound mind, must have a capability to understand the nature of the act. What he is doing, what is the nature of the act, how the act is being done. Okay. So the nature of the act, the nature of the agent that must need to be defined. So, as a principal, it is the basic criteria of the principal at first to be a major and at second to be of the sound mind. Got it? So, under section 183, it has been defined that who may employ an agent. That who is the person who is capable to employ an agent, and under that we have discussed that to appoint an agent, first of all, the person must have attained the age of the majority, and secondly, the person must have the sound mind in nature. So, if the person is fulfilling these two criteria, then the person is capable to appoint an agent. Got it? So, under section 184, we have discussed who may be an agent. That means what is the capability or legality of a person to be an agent of someone. Okay. As between the principal and third person, any person may become an agent, but no person who is not of the age of the majority and of sound mind can become an agent so as to be responsible to his principal according to the provisions in that behalf herein contained. So what does it mean? It means when the person or the principal to when the person is becoming an agent, no person who is of at the age of the majority and of sound mind can become an agent so as to responsible to his principal according to the provisions on this behalf. Okay, that means to be an agent the person, first of all, the person must need to attain the age of the majority, and secondly, the person must have attained the sound mind. Okay, that is the most important thing over here. And coming to the next point, when we are talking about the consideration that we have discussed in the last class, that we have already discussed that when we are talking about the consideration of the parties, that whenever we are appointing an agent, in that case, consideration is not an important factor. That means if I am appointing a person as my agent, I do not need to give consideration to that specific person, because consideration is a factor which is being used in the case of the employment. For example, I am having a company, and in my company I am appointing 15 persons or 20 persons altogether. Okay, and in my company I am doing my business. So when there are employees in my company, then I have to provide consideration to my employees. Got it? Because they are working for me. But if I am appointing someone as my agent, so what is happening there? In that circumstances, the person who is an agent of mine, that person is acting as my representative. And whenever I am passing the power of agency from me to the specific person, then along with the power of the agency, I am also transferring my all the rights and duties to the specific person. The rights, the duties, the benefits I was supposed to get, the activities I was supposed to do, I am transferring all the capability of the activities, all the legal eligibilities to the specific person, to my agent. So I am not working over here on my behalf, my agent is working. वो मेरे तरफ से काम कर रहा है. He is working on behalf of me. Got it? This is called the contract of the agency. जहां पे the principal, the person who is appointing an agent, or the person who, for whom the agency is been created, he is appointing someone on his behalf for a specific kind of the activity. The task or the work which he was supposed to do, instead of doing that act or that work by himself or herself, he is appointing someone on his or her behalf to do the specific activity. That is called the concept of the agency. So whenever we are talking about the concept of the agency, then we need to understand under section 185 that in the concept of the agency, the consideration is not necessary at all. So when we're talking about the consideration, when there is some person is working for us, and in return we have to give something to that specific person, in that case consideration arises. But if one person is representing us, then it is called an agency. Sometimes agency can be done on behalf of the gratitude or obligation itself. So there are various kinds of the agency. Agency can be created on behalf of the obligation, on behalf of the family relations, and so on. Okay. Under section 186, it identifies that agent's authority may be expressed or implied. Okay. So what does it mean? So under section 186, the authority of an agent may be expressed or may be implied in nature. Expressed means it is written through the document or spoken through the words. Implied means it is implied through the actions or activities. Section 187 exactly defines what do we understand by the express or implied authority. It specifies that an authority is said to be expressed when it is given by words spoken or written. When any kind of the authority is given by the words spoken or in the written document, that is called the express authority. An authority is said to be implied when it is to be inferred from the circumstances of the case and things spoken or written or the ordinary course of dealing may be accounted circumstances of the case. What does it mean? When an authority is called as the implied authority, what does it mean? It means the authority is associated with the related activities. That means in the express, the agent has to say by himself that yes, I am the agent and I am acting on behalf of the principal. This person is my principal or I am his agent. This has been clearly specified by the agent in an express activity. When we are talking about the implied activity, what happens over here? In the implied activity, it is the implied action. That means the person need not have to say openly that yes, I am the person and I need to imply my authority. I am the agent. It is need not to be expressly said by the agent. Implied authority indicates by the activities of the specific person. Let me give you an example of this, okay? For example, I am having a shop, okay? I am unable to attend the shop every day. So, what I did, I have appointed someone as my authority, as my agent, and that person is taking care of my shop, my business, and everything in the course of the action, okay? So, what is happening that the person, when he is acting on behalf of me or doing his all the activities on behalf of me, he used to do that, okay? There is a third party who is a wholesaler, and from that wholesaler I used to buy my stops, okay? I used to buy my wholesale stops from that wholesaler or from that specific person, okay? So what is happening that the specific person or the wholesaler, uh, that person is supposed to provide certain kind of the goods to my shop on a monthly basis, okay? हिंदी में समझाती हूँ। मेरा एक दुकान है, उस दुकान पे मैं रोज बैठ नहीं पाती हूँ क्योंकि मैं दूसरा काम पे भी बिजी रहती हूँ, तो मेरा दुकान पे मैं रोज नहीं बैठ पाती हूँ। तो मैं क्या करती हूँ, ऑन माई बिहाफ मैं किसी को अपॉइंट करती हूँ मेरा दुकान का ख्याल रखने के लिए, ओके? तो मान लो मेरे दुकान का जितना सारा होलसेल आइटम है, जितना होलसेल का बिजनेस है, वो तीसरा कोई आदमी जो है, देर इज ए थर्ड पार्टी, देर इज ए थर्ड पर्सन हु इज डीलिंग विद दिस मतलब दिस बिजनेस। मेरे दुकान का होलसेल का सामान मैं और कहाँ से मंगवा रहा हूँ, द यूजुअली द थिंग्स हैज बीन डील्ड। तो सामान कौन मंगवा रहा है? मेरे एजेंट, जिसको मैंने दुकान पे रखा हुआ हूँ, जो मेरे बिहाफ से दुकान पे काम कर रहा है, वो क्या कर रहा है, मेरा हर महीने का जो भी होलसेल का सामान होता है वो ही खरीदता है। बट वो क्या करता है, जो बिल है ना, वो बिल मेरे नाम पे कर रहा है। मेरा ही क्रेडिट कार्ड से हर महीना एक स्पेसिफिक अमाउंट वो डिडक्ट करके सामान खरीद रहा है। And I have given him the authority to do that specific act. यहाँ पे क्या है, मैंने उसको ये अथॉरिटी दे रखा है। आई हैव गिवन हिम द अथॉरिटी कि हाँ ठीक है, अगर तुम चाहो तो तुम मेरा क्रेडिट कार्ड यूज करके दुकान का जितना सामान है हर महीने तुम खरीद सकते हो। द बिल इज बीइंग डन विथ माय नेम, मेरे नाम पे ही बिल हो रहा है। सो दिस इज कॉल्ड द इम्प्लाइड अथॉरिटी। यहाँ पे वो ना, वो मेरा जो एजेंट है, वो हर किसी को जाके ये घूमता फिरता नहीं बोल रहा है कि आई एम द एजेंट ऑफ मैम, मैं इनका एजेंट हूँ, मैं उनका एजेंट हूँ। उसी को बोलने का जरूरत नहीं है। वो क्या कर रहा है, बिल मेरे नाम पे कर रहा है, पेमेंट मेरा ही क्रेडिट कार्ड से कर रहा है। सो दिस इज कॉल्ड द इम्प्लाइड अथॉरिटी। वहां पे क्या हो रहा है कि उसका जो अथॉरिटी है ना, दैट इज बीइंग इम्प्लाइड। उसी का जो तरीका है, इट इज बीइंग इम्प्लाइड। वो पर्सन का जो भी एक्टिविटी है, उसी के एक्टिविटी के थ्रू द अथॉरिटी और द वर्क कल्चर इज बीन क्लियरली विजिबल। दैट इज कॉल्ड द concept of the implied authority. Section 188 speaks about the extents of agent's authority. Up to what extent the agent's authority can be elaborated, that is been explained under section 188 of the TP Act. Okay. An agent having an authority to do an act has authority to do every lawful thing which which is necessary in order to do such act. What does it mean? An agent having an authority to do an act. Okay? An agent who has an authority to do an act has authority to do every lawful thing which is necessary in order to do such act. The person who has the authority to do every lawful thing, the person has the authority to do all the kinds of the thing which is necessary in order to do. An agent having an authority to carry on a business has authority to do every lawful thing necessary for the purpose or usually done in course conducting such business. This is very simple. See, first let's understand the first line, then we'll understand the second line. An agent having an authority to do an act has authority to do every lawful thing which is necessary in order to do such act. Okay. For example, uh, I have been authorized by my senior to file a case. Okay. There is a case in my senior's chamber and he is unable to attend the case. And what he is doing, he is giving authority to me, or he is appointing me that yes, Arya, I am giving you the authority and now you can फाइल द केस ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ मी. और आप क्या कर सकते हो, मेरी तरफ से आप जो भी है आपका अथॉरिटी है, आप केस ले सकते हो एंड यू कैन फाइल द केस एंड यू कैन गो फॉर द केस. सो यहाँ पे जितना सारा केस को फाइल करने के लिए जितना सारा लीगल प्रोसीडिंग्स है, पिटिशन तैयार करना, केस फाइल करना, डेट लाना, ये जो सारा प्रोसीजर है वो किसको करना पड़ेगा? मेरे को करना पड़ेगा. बिकॉज माई सीनियर हैज अपॉइंटेड मी एज द एजेंट ऑफ हिमसेल्फ टू डू दैट स्पेसिफिक एक्ट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यू हैव टू अटेंड ए बिजनेस मीटिंग बट यू आर अनेबल टू गो देयर. आपका एक बिजनेस मीटिंग है बट आप वहां पे नहीं जा सकते बिकॉज यू आर एक्सट्रीमली बिजी. So what you are doing, you are appointing me that Arya, see, I am unable to go to the business meeting, so please go there and handle the things. So what I am doing, I am going there and I am signing in the all the present documents over there. वहाँ पे जितने सारा बिजनेस का डील है, बिजनेस का डॉक्यूमेंट है, मैं वहाँ पे साइन करती हूँ. I am giving my consent to the things present over there. I am doing all my activities over there. Okay. So वहां पे मैं क्या कर रही हूँ, मेरी तरफ से जितना सारा एक्टिविटी है, ऑल द एक्टिविटीज ऑफ माइंड आई एम इम्पोजिंग इन दैट कोर्स ऑफ द बिजनेस. सो टू कंप्लीट माई कमिटमेंट, मैंने आपको क्या कमिटमेंट दिया है कि आप चिंता मत कीजिए, आपका बिजनेस का जितना सारा काम है, इफ आई एम गोइंग देयर एज योर एजेंट, आई विल कंप्लीट ऑल द वर्क्स ऑल टुगेदर. सो उस काम को कंप्लीट करने के लिए मेरे को जितना सारा प्रोसेस फॉलो करना पड़ेगा, सारा प्रोसेस आई हैव टू फॉलो. एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, इट शुड बी लॉफुल इन नेचर. मैं अपना कोर्स ऑफ द ट्रांजैक्शन या कोर्स ऑफ द बिजनेस, कोर्स ऑफ द वर्क, उसको कंप्लीट करने के लिए जो कुछ भी काम कर रही हूँ वो लीगल होना चाहिए, लॉफुल होना चाहिए, वैलिड होना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं काम करवाने के लिए कुछ भी इलीगल तरीका अपना रही हूँ. इज इट वैलिड एंड ऑथेंटिकेट? द आंसर इज नो. आई हैव टू एक्ट लॉफुली फॉर द स्पेसिफिक बिहेवियर. Got it? The second point, it indicates an agent having an authority to carry on a business has authority to do every lawful thing necessary for the purpose or usually done in the course for conducting such business. Okay. In the second point, it exactly explains about the carrying of a business. Okay. So when I'm carrying a business, so I have the authority to carry every lawful thing necessary for the purpose. वो बिजनेस को कैरी करने के लिए जितना सारा लॉफुल थिंग है, whatever the lawful activities over there, I have to take care of everything. और यूजुअली डन इन कोर्स फॉर कंडक्टिंग सच बिजनेस, उस बिजनेस को कंडक्ट करने के लिए लॉफुली जितना सारा प्रोसीजर अपना जा सकता है, आई हैव टू फॉलो अप, आई हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ ऑल द प्रोसीजर रिलेटेड टू दैट कोर्स ऑफ द बिजनेस. Got it? Then comes section 189. It speaks about the agent authority in an emergency. An agent has the authority in an emergency to do all such acts for the purpose of protecting his principal from loss as would be done by a person of ordinary prudence in his own case under similar circumstances. So what does it mean? An agent has authority in an emergency to do all such acts for the purpose of protecting the principal from loss as would be done by the person of the ordinary prudence in his own case under the similar circumstances. So what does it mean? For example, I am working as the agent on behalf of you. मैं आपके तरफ से as an agent काम कर रही हूँ. Okay. So when I'm acting as an agent of yours in my course of action, I have to take care of every small things in the course of the business. Yes. कोर्स ऑफ द बिजनेस में जितना सारा छोटा बड़ा जो कुछ भी चीज है, मेरे को सारे चीज का ख्याल रखना पड़ेगा. राइट. मान लो इन द कोर्स ऑफ द बिजनेस, जब मैं आपका काम कर रही हूँ एज योर एजेंट, आई एम फेसिंग सच ए सिचुएशन जहां पे इट इज एन इमरजेंसी बट यू आर नॉट प्रेजेंट ओवर देयर. सो विदाउट योर परमिशन टू प्रोटेक्ट योर राइट, अगर मैं यहाँ पे अपना एजेंसी का राइट इम्प्लीफाई करके अपना राइट इम्प्लाई नहीं करती हूँ, आपको प्रोटेक्ट नहीं करती हूँ, देन यू आर गोइंग टू सफर ए बिग लॉस. आपको यहाँ पे नुकसान हो जाएगा. So यहाँ पे it is my responsibility, my duty to take care of your business, to take care of your carrying service, and that is why I am liable and I am responsible to do all those such kind of activities which is necessary to do. जो एक्टिविटी करना जरूरी है, उस सारा एक्टिविटी करना मेरा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इधर बन जाता है. आई हैव द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू कैरी ऑल द एक्टिविटीज दैट इज बीन नेसेसरी टू डू. गॉट इट? सो लेट्स talk about the illustration on this. An agent for sale may have goods repaired if it is necessary. For example, I am being I'm working in a shop as your agent, and there are a lot of damaged product in your shop, and those needs to be repaired in an urgent basis. So what I am doing, I am using the main fund of the shop and utilizing those money for the purpose of the repair. So if I would not have repaired those goods, that might lead you to suffer any kind of the losses. Yes. So here in these circumstances, to prevent you from suffering any kind of the losses, what I am doing? I am doing my act and I am protecting you from suffering those losses. Okay. So this is called the agent's authority in an emergency. The authority of the agent in an emergency is to protect the principal from any kind of the losses or any kind of the damages over here. Section 190 elaborates when agent cannot delegate. So what are the circumstances under section 190? It is defined that when agent कैन नॉट डेलीगेट। एजेंट कब डेलीगेट नहीं कर सकता? An agent cannot lawfully employ another to perform acts which he has expressly or impliedly undertaken to perform personally, unless by ordinary custom of trade a sub-agent may, or from the nature of the agency, a sub-agent must be employed. What does it mean? An agent cannot lawfully employ another to perform acts which he has expressly or impliedly undertaken to perform personally. That means when I am appointing a person as my agent to do a certain kind of the activity, यहाँ पे क्या होता है, मैं किसी को as my agent यहाँ पे मैं यहाँ पे किसी को अपना एजेंट के हिसाब से यहाँ पे अपॉइंट करती हूँ. So is it the right of the agent to appoint someone else for his work? No. The agent cannot lawfully employ another to perform acts which he has expressly or impliedly undertaken to perform personally, unless by the ordinary custom or custom of a trade of sub-agent may, from the nature of the agency of sub-agent may employed. अगर the nature of the agency allows the agent to appoint someone else as the sub-agent, then only it is considered as the valid appointment. But when the agent is legally non-eligible to appoint someone as the sub-agent, then that kind of the appointment is considered as an invalid appointment as per se. Okay? So, if it is the nature of the agency, if it is the nature of the contract, that yes, according to the terms and conditions of the contract, according to the nature of the contract, the agent may appoint someone as the sub-agent, as his representative. If the nature of the terms of the conditions of the contract is permitting to do so, then yes, the agent can do that. If the terms and conditions of the contract, if the nature of the contract is not permitting to do that, then yes, the agent cannot do that. So section 191 explains sub-agent. What do we understand by the concept of the sub-agent? A sub-agent is a person employed by and acting under the control of the original agent in the business of the agency. Who is a sub-agent? A sub-agent is a person who is employed by the agent. जिसको एजेंट अपॉइंट करता है उसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? उसको हम बोलते हैं सब एजेंट. A sub-agent is a person is employed by and acting under the control of the original agent. सब एजेंट यहाँ पे क्या करता है? Acts under the control of the sub-agent. एजेंट. यहाँ पे सब एजेंट के लिए प्रिंसिपल कौन है? एजेंट है. मैंने आपको अपॉइंट किया, आपने सी को अपॉइंट किया. यहाँ पे फॉर सी हु इज द प्रिंसिपल? यू आर द प्रिंसिपल फॉर सी एंड आई एम द प्रिंसिपल फॉर यू. गॉट इट? सो यहाँ पे द सब एजेंट इज ए पर्सन हु इज अपॉइंटेड by the agent or on behalf of the agent for his specific kind of the activities. एजेंट को अपना काम करने के लिए अगर किसी का अपॉइंटमेंट करना पड़ता है तो वो किसी को अपॉइंट करता है. एंड हु इज दैट पर्सन? दैट पर्सन इज कॉल्ड एज द सब एजेंट टू whom the agent appoints for his activity. Got it? Section 192, it indicates the representation of the principal by sub-agent properly appointed. What does it mean? Where sub-agent is properly appointed. When a sub-agent is properly appointed. The principal is so far as regards third person represented by the sub-agent as if he appointed the principal. Okay. Agent's responsibility for the sub-agent. The agent is responsible to the principal for the acts of the sub-agent. The sub-agent is responsible for his acts to the agent, but not to the principal, except in the case of the fraud or willful wrong. Okay. So usually under section 192, it is been defined, it has been explained that who is responsible for what. Okay. If there is a presence of an agent, okay, and the agent has appointed someone as the sub agent, okay, so in that specific circumstances when an agent has appointed someone as the sub agent, then the agent is responsible or liable for the activities of the सब एजेंट. यहाँ पे एजेंट जो है ना वो सब एजेंट का एक्टिविटी के लिए लाइबल रहेगा, रिस्पॉन्सिबल रहेगा. ये तो गया आपका पहला बात. दूसरा कंडीशन क्या बोला कि एजेंट विल बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल टू द प्रिंसिपल फॉर द एक्ट ऑफ द सब एजेंट. अगर एजेंट ने अपने काम के लिए सब एजेंट को अपॉइंट किया है तो सब एजेंट का जितना सारा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, जितना सारा काम है, वो अगर कुछ गलत भी करता है, then who will be the responsible for that? The agent will be responsible for the activities of the sub agent to the principal itself. यहाँ पे एजेंट प्रिंसिपल के पास सब एजेंट का सारा एक्टिविटी के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल रहेगा. गॉट इट? नेक्स्ट, section 192, the first part, it speaks about the principal's responsibility. What does it mean? If a sub agent is properly appointed, the principal is liable for sub agent's act as if he has been directly appointed. For example, in the nature of the contract, the appointment of the sub agent is legally valid. That means there is a contract in which it is the nature of the contract that the agent can appoint a sub agent. Got it? So in this nature of the contract, when the sub agent is being appointed by the agent, यहाँ पे मान लो the sub agent is being appointed by the agent for his activity. Sub agent क्या होता है? By the agent, sub agent is being appointed. But and it is being done with the consent of the principal. क्योंकि यहाँ पे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का जो नेचर है ना वो ये इंडिकेट करता है कि यहाँ पे जो एजेंट है एक दूसरा इंसान को और वो एज ए सब एजेंट अपॉइंट कर सकता है. So this kind of the appointment of the sub agency is being done with the consent of the principal, and in these circumstances the principal is liable for the sub agent's activity as if he has directly appointed the sub agent. उस सब एजेंट का एक्टिविटी के लिए उसी तरह से लायबल होगा आज इफ उसी ने खुद उस सब एजेंट को अपॉइंट किया है. Even if the sub agent is appointed by the agent itself, but the principal is liable or responsible for all the activities of the sub agent itself. Then the second point, second point of the section 192, it speaks about the agent's responsibility. The agent is accountable to the principal for the sub agent's action. What does it mean? The agent is accountable or responsible or liable to the principal for what? For the action of the sub agent. यहाँ पे who has appointed the sub agent? The agent. So it is the responsibility of the agent to take care the all the activities of the sub agent. If the agent is unable to handle the activities of the sub-agent, then he is responsible for the acts of the activity. Responsible रहेगा, liable रहेगा. Got it? And whenever we are talking about the responsibility of the sub-agent, in that circumstances we need to understand that the sub-agent is responsible to the agent and to the principal only in cases of the fraud or intentional wrongdoing. In the third point, we are going to understand that the sub-agent is responsible to the agent or to the principal for what? For in cases of the fraud and the intentional wrongdoing, when there is the cases of the fraud, misrepresentation or mistake, or when there is the intentional wrongdoing by the parties, in that circumstances, the agent is responsible and liable by the activities of the sub agent. Okay. And when it is the act of the wrongdoing or fraud, in that case, the principal is responsible for the act of the sub-agent. But except in all these cases, the sub-agent is answerable to the agent for his activities. But when it is the act of the misrepresentation or wrongdoing or the willful wrong or the fraud, in these circumstances, the sub-agent is answerable to the principal and the principal is liable for the act of the sub-agent. So what are those? The willful wrong or fraud. Fraud, you all know that knowingly to do harm to someone. And willful wrong means whenever you know that something is wrong, something is not right, but still the person is doing the same act, that is called the willful wrong. So this is about section 192. Coming to the part of 193, it speaks about the agent's responsibility for sub-agent appointed without authority. What does it mean? Section 193 speaks, if an agent appoints the sub-agent without authority, the agent acts as the principal to the sub-agent and is fully responsible for their actions. The principal is neither liable for the sub-agent's act or not bound by them. Okay. So according to section 193, what is the situation? For example, the agent has appointed someone as an sub-agent. So hereby, according to the nature of the contract, the agent is not permitted to appoint someone as the sub-agent. But still, the agent chooses to do so. Still, the agent is appointing someone as the sub-agent. So what will happen in that circumstances? In that circumstances, when without the permission of the principal, without the consent of the principal, without the consent of the real principal who is the owner, if the agent is appointing someone as the sub-agent, then in that circumstances, that person or the sub-agent, if he is doing any kind of the activity, any kind of the act, then the in that circumstances, then the principal is not liable, not responsible for any of the activity they are in. Then who will be responsible? In that circumstances, the agent is responsible for all the activities. For example, मेरा एक दुकान है, मेरा एक शॉप है, okay? And I have given you the responsibility of the shop to handle the shop. मैं आपको वहां पे बैठाया हूँ, मैंने आपको महीने का 15,000 रुपया का सैलरी दे रही हूँ, पैसा दे रही हूँ. एंड एज माई एजेंट यू आर वर्किंग ओवर देयर, आप वहां पे काम करते हो, दुकान संभालते हो, दुकान का काम देखते हो, सब कुछ आप वहां पे करते रहते हो. तो वहां पे क्या होता है ना, जब आपको दुकान संभालने का काम आता है, आपको और कहीं पे जाना होता है, या यू आर डूइंग सम अदर काइंड ऑफ द वर्क, wherever you were supposed to do your work. बट यहाँ पे जब आप अपना काम सही ढंग से नहीं कर पाते हो, यू आर अपॉइंटिंग समवन एज द सब एजेंट टू डू योर एक्ट. आप वहां पे क्या करते हो, दूसरे इंसान को आपका काम के लिए अपॉइंट करते हो. एंड इफ दैट स्पेसिफिक पर्सन इज डूइंग एनी काइंड ऑफ द फ्रॉड, वो आपका कोई नुकसान कर देता है, देन हु इज लायबल टू पे द कंपेंसेशन? यू आर लायबल टू पे द कंपेंसेशन. बिकॉज वहां पे जो भी एक्टिविटी है, जो भी लॉसेस हुआ है, दैट इज ड्यू टू योर लॉस, ड्यू टू योर नेग्लिजेंस, नॉट माइन. So this is explained under section 193. The next section onwards, we are going to discuss in the next class. This is all for today, guys. We can drop the class over here. See you all in the next class. Bye bye. Take care.